evening. Okay, so this is now part 4 of the series reviewing the resolutions packet for the 2025 IDGOP meeting. Okay, so this is getting really ridiculous going in this cycle. I'm going to try to make this one longer just so I can fit more stuff in it, but I have a hard limit at 45 minutes. And at that point, I don't even know if I'm getting all of this done. But here we are at, let's see, we left at something like 2025-7 or something like that. Okay, let's see if I can get it all lined up. All right, there we are. Okay, yep, okay, cool. 2025-7. A resolution in support of uniform penalty for drugs harmful to Idaho youth. Okay. Submitted by Aaron Cook here. Okay. Okay. Strike 1. Strike 2. And let me guess. This was written by Trent Clark, so strike 3. You're already out of here. Alright. Okay. Let's go. Whereas substances that harm our children are illegally in Idaho, but prosecutors and courts in various jurisdictions apply inconsistent penalties. I like how you're hand-waving over a lot of this. Okay. Whereas to address this, House Bill 606 was introduced in 2023 by Bruce Skog, and my browser is going nuts, to create a mandatory minimum of they added this in for okay, they don't even know what that number is. That 420. Wow. Just put that number in there ironically, not knowing where that number came from in the legislation to begin with. Wow. Okay. Preserved, that's the final lesson. 3 ounces. The use of marijuana by under the age of 18 is not shown to call. Yes, this is absolutely true. And there's a lot of other things you could say the same about a lot of things that it's apparently completely normal and almost expected for a lot of other things. So you know what? I don't think that this is making the point the author thinks it's making. It's true, of course, but whatever. Whereas the Medical Journal Medical Express, modern cannabis has really unknown harms. Okay, this is just the I hate pot resolution, right? Okay. I mean, it's not wrong, it's just read a frickin' room. Okay, so this was, I forgot to start, I'll say, 4th video. Alright, so this is 2024-7, or 2025-7, rather. And it started somewhere in the beginning of, and so my official reaction to this is I really hope this resolution isn't a cudgel to bash factional opponents instead of furthering the conversation on harmful substances. Because there are a lot of things that are harmful substances that are completely justified, acceptable, and legal in the society. Alcohol being chief among them. Yet there are some pretty hard problems, that we aren't really all that much closer as a society to really dealing with. There's a lot of other over-the-counter stuff that absolutely should not be used in the way that society deems it acceptable. Everybody loves talking about it, but the opioid crisis right there is not any better right now. In fact, it's a whole lot worse. I have family members that have their brains have effectively been melted by opioids. We're not really doing a whole lot there yet. It's been a while too. So you know what? I do not find that this resolution is coming from an honest place. I'm just gonna move on from there. 2025-8, 2005-8. See, where are we at in the video? 631. 2025-8 is resolution to support restoring limits on special or extraordinary sessions of the Idaho legislature. Okay, okay, this is just talking about the stuff that was going on a little bit ago. By Aaron Cook, Caribou Chair, so this is probably just a Trent Clark resolution. Aaron, do you feel real happy that you're a puppet? Senate Joint Resolution 102 was enacted by the people not to enable legislature to continue without them. This is a good thing. I agree. I wonder what the former establishment faction's recollection of my testimony of the time was. I bet it's a lot different from what my testimony and opinions actually are. But let's continue. Proponents of SGR 22 denied that it would expand duration. I had some similar concerns, I'm not going to lie. In fact, it's all in the public record, quite literally. The official voter guide makes no mention of the rescinding the historical 20-day limit on sessions beyond the regular. I suppose that there's going to be a bigger point that you're building towards here, because if you're just couching some curmudgeon resistance on this, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Whereas a lay and part-time citizen legislator has served Idaho well, this is true, including preventing the establishment of professional legislators residing in Boise. Well, then, you know what? There's actually a lot of other people who also reside in Boise. You really want to be just blatantly insulting people? Is this the advocacy of the Republican way that we're come to expect from Trent Clark and the people who are he puppets? The presence of skilled professional outside of politics among legislative decisions and more lasting community-based connection with legislators of their home district. Okay. The 20-day limit on was not amended by virtue that it will now only apply to sessions called by the governor. Okay, you know what? Here's the problem, is that he's using a lot of good ingredients to make something bad here. I was for a lot more sideboard, a lot more guiding principles for this, but I imagine that you're about to be a jackass with this, so you know what? Whatever. Be it resolved that the Idaho Republican Session calls for us upon the following Constitution to restore the 20-day law on special learning. No official comment. And 4 limits, but we need to be cognizant of the expectations of our time, else we blow precious goodwill with the electorate. Okay, so my official response is no official comment. I am for limits, but we need to be cognizant of the expectations of our time, else we blow precious goodwill on the electorate. With the electorate. I'm moving on. 2025-9. 25-9. See, how far are we into the video? 10:56. Let's see. 10. Okay. 2025-9. A resolution to ensure active duty in the military are never denied the opportunity to participate in open to all Republicans. Aaron Cook, Caribou. Okay, so great. He's gonna twist the Republican way into something. I just know it. Idahoans serving in the armed forces have pledged their very lives to defend the freedom to self-govern, to associate with, and to engage in fair. Okay. Whereas not all individuals serving in the military consider it either possible or appropriate to affiliate formally with a political party. I bet that the original author thinks that this means something else than it really truly does, but okay. Whereas the inability of active servicemen to participate in the Idaho Republican process without formal affiliation became a driving force behind Proposition 1 in 2020, an initiative whose defeat cost Republicans concerned hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I'm to understand that something is bad because we had to spend a lot of time defending something? Okay, well, I'm just going to... whereas the number of... and open primaries is even smaller. And when they do participate, they intend to vote... Okay. Well, this is true, but... generally, when you have to reference this specifically, you're about to do something bad. So let's continue. Whereas the decision as who can and cannot participate in party processes rests with the party, and extending an open to active is signals those. Okay. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Idaho State Republican Center approves the participation of Idaho residents who are serving in armed forces in votes to select the party's nominees contingent on their infill. Yeah, this is obviously written by Trent Clark. Again, do you like being a puppet, Aaron? But okay, so my official response to this is that I'm specifically reserving comment on this resolution, as I'm betting a specific thing will happen during the debate, and I will be laughing when it happens. I'm just going to move on. So, okay, 2025-10. 5-10. Let's see, where are we in the video now? 1448. 1448. Okay, so 2025-10, resolution to empower private and community healthcare clinics. Craig Yadden, Bannock Chair, whereas healthcare is a reasonable and constitutional objective. Wasn't I reading this a couple of videos ago? Okay, so this was 2025-10, but this sounds a lot like one of the ones from earlier. There's that glamping resolution again. There's the grizzly bear thing. I'm gonna eat. This is the same resolution. Okay, so what did I say for 2024-2022? Okay, so this was the first video on the last one. I said here, agree, but this is the same as the... Okay, so I'm just gonna... So 2025-10, let me find the place again. Okay, so yeah, all right, so what's the next one? 2025-11. And where are we in the video? 1724. Submitted by Keith Markle, Adams Cherrick, co-sponsors. A lot of good ones. Okay. Adams County Republican. Okay. Right. To be presented by some people I trust on these. This is the censure of high oh, okay, yeah. This is talked a lot in local circles. So I knew this one was coming. But to give it its due time here, I will definitely read it over. I don't necessarily disagree with what's happening here. It's just... okay, anyway, whereas the Idaho Republican Party herein, the party has spent considerable time in Treasurer filing a successful lawsuit in federal court asserting the right of association under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution to close Republican primaries. Okay, that's where he starts building things. Cool. Whereas the party has officially opposed the liberal scheme known as ranked choice voting, designed by Democrats, leftists, and liberals to destroy the party and turn Idaho blue. This is also true. Whereas the National Republican Party has also officially opposed a liberal scheme. Okay, yeah, he's building. The Idaho legislature has officially declared its opposition to and how we defeated it. Democrats, leftists, funded by millions of dark money for defrauded voters gathering the signatures to place Proposition 1. Yeah, that's... Yeah, this part right here. Dark money, defrauding voters and gathering signatures. Yeah, they absolutely deceived people. That's for sure. Proposition 1, never to abolish or close them, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they're trying to get away with our right of first association. I had many discussions like this through that whole season. Whereas even the United States Communist Party supports ranked choice voting. Yeah, that's right. They do. Whereas the party was required to spend tens of thousands of dollars and countless hours defeating Proposition 1, when that money and time could have been spent furthering the party other party causes, including defeating Democrats on the ballot. Okay. Whereas Hiram Erickson... Okay, so we're finally this far into the resolution, and we're now mentioning his name. Okay, whereas Hiram Erickson, an elected Republican precinct committee officer from Madison County, serving in yada yada, worked as the leading spokesman for Prop 1, traveling the state in favor of Prop 1 at events, and a bunch of other stuff. Okay, where a supermajority of Idahoans voted against. This is true. It was defeated quite soundly. Whereas the party does not have a mechanism to remove this stuff yet. Whereas the party does not have a mechanism to prevent anyone from being deceitful and in self-identifying as one support. This is absolutely true. Yes, in fact, you're putting it quite mildly here. Okay. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Idaho Republican Party censures Hiram Exon for misleading Idaho voters for conduct unbecoming an elected member of the Madison County's County Central Committee, and for lending aid and support to Democrats, leftists, liberals, and even members of the United States Communist Party who sought to destroy the Idaho Republican Party by implementation of this does not go far enough. Okay, so this is what I wrote down as the my official reaction to 2025-11. This does not go far enough. Hiram Erickson is a duplicitous snake. And I'm moving on. Next one is 2025-12. Let's see, 2025 12. All right, where are we in the video? 22, 23. All right. Acknowledgement of pride events as being inherently sexual and denouncing the use of public reasons. Okay, you probably could have shortened this title. I get what you're getting at. It's a good, you know, this is probably going to be a very good resolution, but yeah, you probably could have shortened this a bit. Anyway, submitted by Lucas Kaler. Okay, one of the Canyon people. That's cool. That's cool. Pride movement was launched in the late 19th, concurrent with the sexual revolution. This, I dare people to argue otherwise. Anyway, whereas the Pride movement has, since its inception, been centered on the tradition, sexual activities and recent to expand radical gender theory and fluid gender identity. Okay, that's where you're building the case here. Whereas the Pride movement's historical underpinnings are rooted in Marxist ideology. I want somebody to try to say that that isn't true, because it is absolutely true. Whereas the Pride movement's contemporary form just makes it a key of cultural Marxism. Okay, yeah, this is you're preaching to a choir here, Lucas. Movement is inherently sexual in nature, and oh, you're doing citations here too. You're doing footnotes. Interesting. Okay, whereas the Idaho Republican Party, and yeah, that's lifted directly from the platform there. Whereas the Idaho Republican Party recognizes a child's biological sex and believes it ought to be protected and respected. This is true. That's, yeah, the platform affirms that intention. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Whereas the Republican Party rejects Marxism in any form. Some libertarian people I know would probably start a fight about that, but whatever. It's true. See, the Republican Party believes children should be safeguarded against sexualization. This is true. This is true. Used to be that a lot more people also believed as such. But here we are in late 2024, about to go into 2025. Anyway, whereas per Idaho Code, that citation right there is unlawful to induce sexual conduct as being all that stuff right there. Okay, yeah, I agree. I'll stipulate to this. The legislation is to restrain the distribution, promote, and dissemination of seed material. This is all Republican stuff. Events under the umbrella of the President habitually include acts of sexual conduct, seed material, and is harmful to minors. Yeah, that's true. In fact, why is it that a porn shop can does a better job of keeping minors out than keeping minors away from pornographic material than our local library? See, what was it? Chandler Hedrabo said as much in a recent legislative session. Anyway, be it resolved that the Canyon County Republican recognizes that as being and sexual in nature, and okay, not the okay, yeah, hard agree. Yeah, preaching to the choir there. We should absolutely do that. We should absolutely pass that. So, 2025-13, 2025-13. Legislator salary. Oh, not this thing again. No. We're starting this fight. Okay, fine. So where are we? Okay, 26. Okay, you want to just call this 2701 in the video. (2025-13). Make sure. Submitted by Nicholas Gajan, Elmore County. Whereas the legislature is vested in the authority to reject or reduce rates of compensation and expenses established for service as members of the legislature by the Citizens Committee on. Yeah, okay. This is factual, at least for the time being. Whereas Republican legislators often run on the platform of conservative budgeting. However, since 2015, the appropriate state budget has increased 107%, far exceeding the population growth, furthering our dependence on federally controlled dollars. Okay, where are you going with that, though? I'm kind of wondering. Whereas, with Idahoans facing increasing costs in essential goods and services such as food, housing, and energy, the legislature must exercise fiscal responsibility by prioritizing the needs of Idaho residents over increasing government growth and including a higher legislator salary. Okay. Whereas the Idaho opposes any rate of some for. Oh, this is where you're going. Okay, hold up. Let me read this properly now. Be it resolved, the Idaho State Republican Party opposes any rate of salary increase for legislator positions until they pass a conservative budget, reducing the total state appropriations by a minimum of 28% and eliminating the tax on groceries. Based, and I agree. Further, be it resolved that the chairwoman of the Republican Party shall direct and the appointed hard agree. Hard agree. Why does this even need to be a discussion is going to be my official response before moving on. Resolution 2025-14, 2025-14, and where are we in the video? 2953. Sorry, the computer's not. All right. 2025-14, a resolution asserting limits to partisanship in municipal election. Oh, this thing again. Well, let's give it the coverage. Submitted by Todd Thomas, Chair, Franklin County. They passed it at all the way back in 2022. Well, then what's it doing here? Whereas the Republican, the platform supports no partisan decision made with regard to. That's an interesting way to put it. Whereas the best local governance in towns and cities come from individuals motivated by altruistic love. This is an outright lie. The motivations that people have in politics in, in local settings, it's not altruism a lot of the time. And saying that's purely altruistic, even when there is altruism involved, is also not exactly honest. Part of our tools for achieving good government, but the power of a party is not an end goal itself. Does this guy not know about the feminist way to pick up garbage or plow a street? Didn't think that was a thing, huh? That's a thing. Not a good thing. That kind of runs into, headfirst into, yeah, okay, you know what? In an environment with scarce volunteer leadership, selecting persons of good character may be a higher priority than partisanship. People of good character are often not. I'm having a hard time believing that this guy is honestly articulating his position here. To be quite honest with you, in fact, that's what I'm writing here. I'm having a hard time believing that the author is being 100% honest about their intentions with this resolution. The large community often defaults to overarching plan. Again, that's a rather rose-colored glasses way of looking at it. Some of the most nasty and divisive and partisan things happen in the most hyper-local of settings. This last whereas clause here is an absolute lie. Not only that, but the last whereas clause is an absolute lie. So I'm just going to say it. Whereas now, therefore, be it resolved that the IDGOP actively advocate and urge that any conversion to is currently non-partisan will be limited to the jurisdictions of an arbitrary number that he pulled out of his posterior. No, and shame on the author for working against the Republicans. Okay, so my full response to 2025-14 is, I'm having a hard time believing that the author is being 100% honest about their intentions with this resolution. Not only that, but the last whereas clause is an absolute lie. Hard no, and shame on the author for working against electing Republicans. And I'm just going to move on. 2024-15 for 2020. Wait, what did it say? 2025. And where are we in the video now? 3513. Alright, so what is this resolution? 2025-15 to fix Idaho's foreign invasion problem. Interesting title. Nicole Highland, District 11, Vice Chair, blah, blah, blah. Proposed text. Resolution to submit. That's a long title. I'm not reading all that. Whereas the state of Idaho is a part of the United States and has its own state sovereignty. Yes, but anyway, whereas the Declaration of Independence clearly states, but when a long train... Okay, they're going this direction. All right. Meaning, as a state, we have the responsibility to protect our community regardless of federal yada yada. Whereas this has nothing to do with the dismantling farm workers or employment unless a worker is found to be a criminal. I feel like this is a direct response to the comments somebody might have made along the way. And I'm here for it. Yeah. Whereas Theo Wald, the former Solicitor General, and blah, 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 blah. This isn't, this is Boise. Oh, yes, I remember this video. This was a video posted on X of the parking lot in front of China Grand Buffet out on Fairview here in Boise. So yes, okay, yes, I remember this. And again in, oh yeah, that's right, the whole Peruvian thing out in Blaine County. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to read all that. You can if you want. Whereas according to John Finn of the Judicial Watch, committing crimes against an alarming... Okay, yeah, this is... Okay, you're building a case. Now, this is a wall of text, and I'm starting to get concerned that people's eyes will gloss over when they start to try to read this. But okay, okay, ICE and... Okay, here. We get the shorter whereas clauses again. Whereas wipeouts with blacked out windows are frequently observed by eyewitnesses dropping up presumed illegals, mostly military, into community randomly and are... This is it. This is happening, yeah. Okay. Whereas this is not referring to immigrants legally residing in the U.S. on such and such visa. Whereas K2 reported in Idaho that a teen has been found across state lines in sex trafficking. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. Surrounding nearby states, such as trendy. Yeah, that the left would tell you this is not happening. It's totally happening. Taking over. Okay. Whereas over 325,000 children have gone missing at the border and presumably either sold or left dead on a caravan trail or have been killed. And oh wow, that can really hit you on like a ton of bricks. Whereas President Donald Trump has been elected to serve his day one. Okay. Oh yeah, you mentioning Tom Holman that families can be deported together. Yep. Be resolved that the Idaho Republican Party. Okay. Being this explicit is unnecessary. You can pick one name, you can pick the other. You don't need to be typing that out. Identify the border security problem and ask you, okay, government and invoking that part of the Constitution to protect its own territory. Okay. Be it further resolved that, okay, you know what, I'm just going to say, I agree this is a problem. Illegal immigration is absolutely an escalating problem. Okay, I'm just going to move on. I'm going to move on. Let's see how far I can get here. Resolution 2025-16. 2025-16. So where are we in the video now? 39:58. Okay, we're kind of getting close. 2025-16. Condemn and ban weather modifications to geoengineering. Okay. Melissa Blevins and all of this. Cloud seeding by aerial dispersion of the cloud seeding generators. Refers to the proposed I'm just going to read the end here. The other can here going to continue to experimentation by any means of passive agree. I'm not going to be getting into all that. $4103. So, but wait a minute. What resolution are I'm getting really tired. Resolution 2025-17. 17. And where are we in the video? 4125. Okay. 4125. And what do we got here? Resolution to further secure Idaho elections. Oh, Jackie Davidson. Okay, yeah, local here. Heritage, a prominent conservative think tank. Currently ranked Idaho has 20 on election integrity. Okay. I recognize that there is improvement to be made. Whereas multiple elections have been compromised or overturned in recent years because of absentee voting fraud, and okay, that's a thing. Integrity of absentee sent through the USPS is not comparable to in-person voting. This is also true. Study of ballots and lost in the mail show that over 7 million ballots went missing annually. That's concerning. I didn't know that number. I figured it was a thing that would be happening. I didn't know it was happening that much. Whereas absentee ballots in Idaho routinely have percentages that are not accepted due to missing signatures or dates. Well, yeah, we're actually checking this stuff. Okay. Whereas high-level representatives of election systems and software, primary voter, have stated publicly that the absentee voting, yeah, okay. Whereas absentee voting has grown substantially in the past decade in order to cover, okay. However, that they have promoted and encouraging in-person voting as the preferred method in Idaho. Supports legislative to prohibit the practice of 30 minutes from sending. Okay, yeah, this can look really slimy. Absolutely. Be it further resolved that the Idaho State Republican Party will continue to legislate to no excuse absentee voting. That the Idaho Republican Party I'm getting really tired. That the Idaho State Republican Party will continue to protect the rights of. Okay. All right. So this was hard agree. All right, moving on. 2025-18. 25-18. And we are 43 minutes into the video. Okay, 43:55. All right, this is going to be the last resolution I'm doing right now and for the night. I'm going to do the rest of this in the morning or whatever. 2025-18 IDGOP resolution in opposition to legalization. Well, it's the I hate pot, but I'm not going to do a dang thing about anything else. That kind of resolution. All right. Whereas several surrounding states have legalized the use, possession, growth, and okay, yeah, all right, that's bad. Whereas legalization, use, blah 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 has caused, okay, legalization, use, and has caused. Wait, bah. Need to move on. The number of Americans with this cannabis has. Okay. Well, I believe that the effort to realize has devastating effects on. Okay, but so does alcohol, though. I mean, you're not wrong, but we need to be consistent about this stuff. Whereas maintaining the safety of our roadways is top. Roadways. Where's he going with this? is a top priority. So impaired drivers and increased time. Okay, you're right there, but we haven't exactly won the war on alcohol. How's the war on drugs doing? Young Americans as a libertarian or okay. This resolution seems to be more concerned with taking pot shots at YAL instead of making a point about how bad marijuana is and what we should do about it. It is regrettable we have to waste time on this. Okay, so my official response to this is, this resolution seems to be more concerned with taking pot shots at YAL instead of making a being about how bad marijuana is and what we should do about it. It is regrettable we have to waste time on this. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to stop here. Hard break. I need to go to bed. So I'm just gonna get this stuff uploading and then I'm going to turn in. Just yeah, so I'm gonna continue on. I don't know if I'm gonna have time in the morning, but I will come back to this as soon as I have time, which should be soon. But yeah, I need to go to bed. Transition here for a moment. I tried to marathon this. I only got to 2025-19, it looks like. And I will start with that resolution later. Y'all have a good night. It's now midnight, so it's technically tomorrow now, so blessings.